Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about cheese, or the lack of cheese. No, I'm not going to talk about the latest Star Wars cheese by Kraft, although that's some good flavored cheese. And this is about a new spin-off movie about Jar Jar Binks trying to defeat cheese. This is about the Phantom Menace being re-edited with anti-cheese. What do you mean anti-cheese? Well, we're talking about removing the cheesy dialogue or cheesy scenes and just trying to make the film better. Tighten it up. Can a simple edit make the Phantom Menace better? Today we're going to look at the Phantom Menace, the anti-cheese edition. First off, let's show what we mean by taking the cheese out of the Phantom Menace. This is cheese.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
This is without cheese. Before we get started with the review, let me make it clear, I am not a prequel basher. Did I love the prequels as much as the original trilogy? Not at all. But is it better than most Hollywood blockbusters? Without a doubt. Was I happy with some of the ideas Lucas had for the film? Not at all. But at the end of the day, this is Lucas's story, his vision. I can't attack a man for making a movie he wanted to make or to tell a story that he wanted to tell, even if I do not agree with all aspects of that story. With all that said, let's dig into this cheese. The film was edited by Jeremy West. You can find a link to his YouTube channel in the description below, and on his YouTube channel, you'll find a commentary to his edited film. The biggest thing edited out of this version of the Phantom Menace is the removal of the Gungan underworld city. How is this done without it being confusing to those watching the film? Let's take a look at the scene leading up to the Gungan underwater city.
Can you take us there?
Thanks to Jeremy, Jar Jar's voice has been replaced to give him his own language. No Misa talk! With this, Jeremy can control what Jar Jar says. So, rewording the dialogue, Jar Jar offers to help the Jedi sneak into the Naboo city. That's how you lose the whole underwater city scene. This gets the pacing of the first act of the film somewhat fixed, and we get on with the story of rescuing the Queen.
What's this?
A local. Let's get out of here before more droids show up.
The biggest issue with this part of the re-edit is the Jar Jar dialogue. First, it uses subtitles, and that's great. Jar Jar shouldn't speak English. It just comes off better and more Star Warsy if he does it. If he's more like Chewbacca, where only a certain people understand him. But the dialogue used here in the subtitles is not great. Is it better than anything Misa could write? You bet so, and maybe even Lucas. But what Jeremy had to work with and fit things into each scene, it's not a major issue. However, taking out the underwater scene and tighten up this Jar Jar Binks dialogue, it makes Jar Jar a much better character. He is seen as helping the Jedi, and not just an annoying tag-along. The other major edit would be the removal of the whole Padme and her gang trying to capture the Viceroy near the end of the film. I admit, when I first watched this edit seemed odd, and I never really had an issue with any of the scenes. In fact, I understand why the scene is needed in the film, unlike the Jar Jar Gungan City underworld. That really doesn't need to be in the film, but this seems part of the whole planning, and it also gives a reason of why Padme, her soldiers, and the Jedis are at the Naboo city. But I have to admit, it is kind of odd that the Jedi Master, Qui-Gon Jinn, would want to bring along a 10-year-old kid with him into battle, and not just leave him on Coruscant, or at least somewhere safe on Naboo. Again, when I first watched this, I thought it was unnecessary that the Padme scene was cut out. However, after watching it, I can see where this does tighten up the ending of the film, and keeps viewers from trying to keep up with 4 different action scenes going on at the same time.
In a space of about 90 seconds, you go from lamenting the death of, a hero to escape, to slightly comedic with Jar Jar, you know, to Anakin returning when.
This is what the edit of The Phantom Menace does best. It tightens up a lot of the film that needs to be tightened, such as the pod race scene. The pod race scene always felt like it dragged on way too long. Even seeing The Phantom Menace back in 1999 on opening day, I remember falling asleep for a few seconds during the pod race. We all knew Anakin was gonna win, and there was very little excitement. Now don't get me wrong, it looked and sounded great. That's why tightening it up makes it even better. Making it tight gives the scene that needed tension that was missing from the film. Also, by removing the unneeded and unfunny two-headed pod race announcer, or would you say announcers? Anyway, tightening up the film is what works the best in Jeremy's cut of The Phantom Menace. The removal of those cringy moments, like Jar Jar Binks walking in poop, or just changing the voices of Newt Gunray and his BFF, they come off as more devilish, and not like two goofy buffoons. Let's take a look at a side-by-side of some of the cheese and anti-cheese that was cut from the film.
They are still coming through. This is impossible! Where are those droid cars? Master, destroy us! Master, destroy us!
They must be dead by now. Destroy what's left of them.
Oh, excuse me.
Check it out, Corporal. We'll cover you.
Roger, roger.
Uh-oh. Blast them.
Our security volunteers will be no match against the battle-hardened Federation army.
I will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
Our security volunteers will be no match against the battle-hardened Federation army.
I will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
Coruscant. The entire planet is one big city. There's Chancellor Valorum's shuttle. And look over there. Senator Palpatine is waiting for us.
You must contact me.
Qui-Gon, sir. I don't want to be a problem.
You won't be, Annie. I'm not allowed to train you, so I want you to watch me and be mindful. Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
Master, sir. I heard Yoda talking about midichlorians. I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
Midichlorians are a microscopic life form that resides within all living cells.
Qui-Gon, sir. I don't want to be a problem.
You won't be, Annie. I'm not allowed to train you, so I want you to watch me and be mindful. Always remember,
Your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe. Your Majesty, it is our pleasure to continue to serve and protect you. Had he been born in the Republic, we would have identified him early. The Force is unusually strong with him. That much is clear. Who was his father?
There was no father. I carried him, I gave birth, I raised him. I can't explain what happened. Can you help him?
I don't know. I didn't actually come here to free slaves. Had he been born in the Republic, we would have identified him early. The Force is unusually strong with him. That much is clear.
Can you help him?
I don't know. I didn't actually come here to free slaves.
That's absolutely right. And a big turnout here.
As you can see, just tweeting some of these little moments in the film make the film flow better. And overall, or at least, it doesn't make you roll your eyes or take you out of the film every few minutes. But there are times when the edit has been made a little too tight, and you need a few minutes to relax and take in what's going on. Like the Anakin and Padme talk on the way to Coruscant. It is edited out of this edition. In the edit, they have little screen time at all, and we need to see Anakin build up a bond with Padme. As I've said, I was never really a hater of the prequels, but I do find the Phantom Menace the weaker of all three. I never really loved it, but I did like it. I don't hate it because, as you know, hate leads to anger, and anger leads to suffering. But if I was to rate the Phantom Menace, with Empire Strikes Back being number 10, the best movie of them all, well, the Phantom Menace would probably be around a 5, at the very most. But with this edit, the Phantom Menace probably gets me a little closer to 7. Even without all the cheese, it's still the weakest Star Wars film. So if you can find it, take a look at the Phantom Menace without all the cheese, and let us know how you feel about it. And don't worry, Jeremy has already done an edit of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So what can be next for Jeremy?
Everybody this way.
Can he make the Clone Wars movie watchable? Well, until next time, keep an eye on our Twitter. Who knows, you might see some links to download some cheese. And you can find our Twitter at StarWarsJunk.net, or just go onto Twitter and find us, Star Wars Junk. Until we talk again, may the Force be with you.